Alright, so I'm gonna have you on my head today. Hope we can see everything that needs to be seen. Oh, get your car jacked up. Use jack stands. Don't be a dummy. Looks like to get to the bottom of that, we're gonna have to remove this plastic panel, which is the silver Phillips head screws. It's 1, 2. Oh wow. Okay, that one ain't coming out. That's permanent, I guess. There's one. I gotta get that fixed today too while I'm underneath here. You're gonna wanna find your 10mm. That'd be your safest bet. So rusted out. Okay, so this is not ideal, but I don't really have time today to drill out that screw. So this is what I did. Because the radiator drain is actually right there in the center for some reason. So get yourself a really large bin, and we'll start the drain now. Gotta come right down here. And it's this right here. Give it a couple turns. And it now should be draining. I'm gonna take it out some more so we can go faster, but that's what you want to see. Now I'm not going to do a full flush today. I don't need to. Now if you were mixing coolants or you know, just yours is in really bad shape, which mine isn't, so I'm just doing it because it's been 9 years and it's never been done. There. Take that off. Undo it some more. Now I don't want to do it where it starts spilling onto the frame or anything, so there we go. This is like perfect. It's draining a lot. Take that off. They're now pouring out pretty good. So anytime you're going to jack up the front of the vehicle, use your tire chocks. You don't want to roll them backwards on you. And we're going to be using this 50-50 mix. It's the blue. It's made for Asian vehicles. And then, since we're gonna have all this apart anyways, it's a good idea. Pick yourself up. You want a thermostat? So you want to do that because, you know, after so many years of that coolant going through there, could gum it up or whatnot. So you got to drain it all out anyways. So you might as well replace it, which is going to be, if everything is correct, it should be on the upper radiator hose with most vehicles. So that's where I'm a safe bet. This is where it's going. So I'm gonna let that drain. Now I do have a pressure tester. I bought the cheap one. We're gonna see if it's gonna work later. It's the first time I've personally used one. I've done flushes many times, but this time I'm gonna use this new pump. Yeah, it's starting to slow down on the drain. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's sped up significantly. This is just pushing out the fluid. I don't want to give it too much pressure, but because my radiator's still good. I've already tested the system before. There's no leaks. But this is a really nice tool. Again, we'll know by the end of this video if the vacuum system works, but I know as far as this, I've used this like 3 times already. And within, I think, 10 to 30 seconds, I knew exactly where the leak was in the cooling system. All right, we're getting close to the end of the drain. Pumping the lower and upper radiator hoses sometimes squeeze out a little bit more. So since we're gonna be messing with sensors, go ahead and remove, it's a 10mm nut. Get the negative battery terminal off. Throw that down here. Disconnect the mass airflow sensor. We can just go ahead and tuck that off to the side, like, oh well. And then, just to make it easier for ourselves, remove the airbox housing. Like so. And there's one back here. 6-inch extension. All right. Yeah, I think we can get around that. So take this out so we don't lose it. Here's that back one, same size. Now let's get a straight head. All right. Okay, separate these two. Get rid of that. Hoping to get this out of the way, but to get this last one back here. Also a 10mm. Yeah, you just gotta separate the air inlet. Okay. All right. Now you can see everything at the top of the transmission. Yeah, like I said, this can stay. I'll just have to like tuck this up behind my strut tower brace. Got it from Road Race Motorsports. To your ECT. This right here actually tells you what the engine temperature is, engine coolant temperature sensor. We're gonna remove this upper radiator hose for attempt 2. These can be pretty stuck on there. Look at that. Yep, that one's pretty stuck on there. So we're gonna give it some, gotta just break that bond. Be very careful with these. Because let me tell you, hoses right now are incredibly expensive. Just got one from another vehicle for $63. I remember they were like 20 bucks. Not going OEM either. That's a Gates brand we go. Tuck that hose up and out of the way. There's nothing in there. What size would that be? This is a 12 millimeter. So there's one underneath. Yes, there is. I'm gonna need it. I'll just use this extension for this one. Probably only need a 3-inch extension for this bottom one. And heck, I don't even know if you can see it, but it's there, trust me. Oh, there we go. "10 years of heat and bonding." I mean, oh, that one's actually a bolt. Okay. Now underneath these two hoses, feels like another one. And there is, right underneath this little hose right here. Careful of this. This is your transmission select lever. You get that out of whack, your car's not going to go to park, neutral, reverse, and drive very well. So, and this is your cable leading from your gear shift. I've actually replaced one of those before on one of my Suzukis. I've had 4 or 5 Kizashis, and this is the only one I've kept, regrettably. All right, that one else is also a nut. Wobble that one off. And I was wrong, people. That is not where the thermostat is. Like I said, never done this one before, but oh, they're gonna make us work for it, aren't they? All right, well, we'll get this put back together and be back with you. All right, now that I got all this put back together, not upsetting at all. At least, you know, you guys can see, you know, your engine mounts and where everything's located. So maybe my screw up would have helped somebody out. So this wasn't all just a giant waste of time. Get everything away from the top of this. Oh wow, yeah, okay, so we're not removing that, so. Ugh. My hands aren't. Nope, so we're not removing those either. Yeah, unfortunately that clip, I can't see it, so don't exactly know if it's a locking one or not. We're gonna go about this a different way. There. That'll at least free up me some wiggle room with these wires. That's really what I need. It'd be great if I can unplug this. Maybe I can. Let me try to push up on this while squeezing it and using the screwdriver to, because I really don't even know what it's to. I can't even see down there to what part it's plugged into. There we go. Got it off. All right. Oh, it's connected to something else now too. I barely got that one, so there's gonna be no possible way I'm gonna get this one. No. Okay. So we'll see if it's a 10mm for the housing. Which it is. I doubt this is going to help, but we'll see what happens. So it's giving me more slack on that wire, just not 100% out of the way yet, which is what I need. I need it gone. So I removed the lower radiator hose. I'm gonna try to feel underneath there. I know you guys can't see anything that I'm doing, but I'm using a 3-inch extension and a swivel bit to try to get down there to it. You cannot see it. The only way to see it is underneath the car, but at that angle there's really no way to get to it down there either. I tried many times, so I'm gonna try the you gotta do a lot of work on the Hummer to get to it, but you can get to it. This one you cannot. You can't remove a tire. Finally got a hold of it. And don't ask me how I'm gonna get it back in either. Because it's angled down. So this one's too long. We'll get rid of the oh, got it. Hopefully I can remove it by hand. There we go. Yeah, it's coming out by hand. All right. Anyways, I'll leave it. I usually leave little notes on the screen. I'll let you know which steps you do not need to take and which steps you do have to take. All of that to get this thing out. This is all you need out. Now we can take out our thermostat. Okay, so you can't use pliers in there. There's the old thermostat. And don't forget to take out that rubber gasket, because your new one comes with a gasket on it. So how we're going to install this is you're going to want to keep this air bubble remover, for lack of better words, pointed upwards, and we'll put it in. Slightly different design, but should work just fine. Okay, perfect fit. Yep, perfect fit. It's in there nice. Okay, just wanted to double check the rubber ring. All right, so how I ended up tackling this job was to remove that lower radiator hose and get to it. I couldn't film it because, yeah, you can't see it. I can't even see it, let alone try to film it, you know? And on top of that, I said some pretty awful words that YouTube won't like, so. And then you can use a ratchet wrench on this one. Okay, now that the lower radiator hose is done, start getting everything else put back together. That. Here's a good trick to keep the bolts in. Take it, make a little lip. Especially when you're too tight to get your hands in. Do it that way. Duct tape don't hold for very long anyway, so it just falls right off. Alright, don't really care about the duct tape. So now we will find where I put that stud at. Put the stud back. And we'll put that 10mm bolt back. Okay, it's tight. And that's tight. Alright, so everything's back to where it should be. Double check everything. Pump connections. It's on there really tight. We got that's all done. I couldn't remove it anyway, so make sure you got all your tools out. Okay, so we're gonna take out this hose, snake it down and around. I'm gonna find like a water bottle or something. Just get it down lower where gravity takes over. And that'll drain the rest out. Alright, so we're all done draining. We can go ahead and close up the drain at the bottom. So that's done. We'll put this cap back on. As I stated before, I've never used one of these before. I always did it the horrible old-fashioned way. Okay, there's that. Let's get the air hose hooked up. All right, make sure the cap's on good. All right, so we're gonna draw a vacuum. Now I'm gonna go ahead and empty this out, just in case there's something left in the system. So I want to go ahead and drawing vacuum right now. You're going to start seeing the hoses collapse. Now it is creating a vacuum, but this isn't sealing off. So we're going to create a vacuum. We're going to shut it off. Yeah, like I said, here's the hoses collapsed. That's normal. Now we're going to leave this for about 15 minutes or so. We'll say 10 minutes. If it holds a vacuum, it stays the same. We know we don't have any issues. Alright, so the idea behind the system, I let it vacuum a little bit longer. I didn't have my air compressor on all the way. So anyways, I kept reading somewhere 15 PSI is how far to go. This thing says take it all the way up there to the red, but I'm not going to do that. We'll see how it works out. So we're going to slowly undo this valve. And there, It is now sucking in the coolant out of the jug. We're gonna go until everything is full again. So we just gotta keep an eye on this jug, make sure this stays all the way at the bottom. And unlike oil and stuff, there's really no view panel on this. It's just stop it every now and then because I want to make sure that stays at the bottom. There we go. Now it's getting close to the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there and grab the other jug. Oh, okay. So that we don't run into any issues of it sucking in air into the system. Okay, there's that. I don't know if it's supposed to go all the way down to the bottom of the white. I'm not sure. All my hoses are full again. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't feel it sucking anymore. No, it's all done. All right. So if this thing is right, I'm just gonna block this off. We could take this out. We could remove that earlier. You don't need that anymore. Throw that over there. Now, like I said, according to the thing, that should be completely 100% full now. Now we just got to fill ours up, fill our coolant up reservoir in here. And then that's how you drain and refill your Suzuki Kizashi and change out the thermostat and a bunch of other unnecessary stuff. But you get to see it, which is awesome. We learn together. Now, one thing I will say, if you are not sure about your coolant and you want to replace everything, that is when you take the time and you put a couple gallons of distilled water, let it go through. Yeah, that's something you just want to flush out everything. That is a good way to do it. I don't need to do that. Like I said, mine was a little bit dirty, but still in pretty good shape. So that's it.